Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources. Updating daily at 6 a.m. New York.
Mirror World News.
September 3, 8:07 America, New York. Real Putin hasn't been in public for 14 months, and could actually already be dead. Ukrainian spymaster Major General Kyrylo Budanov has repeated claims he has made throughout the war, that Vladimir Putin is already dead and that one or more doppelgangers are being used in his place.
Wall Street Journal World News.
September 3, 8 o'clock America, New York. Tractor Supply won over City Slickers. Now it needs to keep them, and farmers. The retailer has added pre-chopped firewood and other items to target younger, rural novices without alienating its traditional customers.
Fox World News.
September 3, 8 o'clock America, New York. Loch Ness Monster Hunters release findings of biggest search in decades. Loch Ness Monster Hunters release photos and videos of their most recent hunt for the monster, which is considered the biggest organized search in decades.
Fox World News.
September 3, 8 o'clock America, New York. Left behind. Some Afghan visa applicants see little progress since U.S. withdrawal. Special immigrant visa applicants who supported the U.S. government in Afghanistan face more than a 5-year wait to find safety amid Taliban efforts to find and kill former enemies.
The Independent. September 3, 7:48 America, New York. Tim Scott is the top black Republican in the GOP presidential primary. Here's how he discusses race. Tim Scott is the only black Republican presidential candidate who's campaigning aggressively these days in early voting Iowa. Copyright 2023 The Associated Press.
BBC News World.
September 3, 7:45 America, New York, Israel. Netanyahu wants immediate deportation of Eritreans after Tel Aviv violence. PM Benjamin Netanyahu wants the immediate deportation of Eritreans who took part in Tel Aviv riots. New York Times World News.
September 3, 7:27 America, New York. Crisis hit British Museum names interim director. Mark Jones, a former leader of the Victoria and Albert Museum, is set to take over with a remit to restore confidence after a theft scandal. Copyright Tom Jameson for the New York Times. The British Museum is the world's third most visited, after the Louvre and the Vatican Museums. Time.
September 3, 7 o'clock America, New York. Executive educator Dominique Turpin on how businesses can keep adding value. To receive weekly emails of conversations with the world's top CEOs and decision-makers, click here. Who do the world's most powerful CEOs turn to when they need advice? Dominique Turpin would be high on the list.
Wall Street Journal World News.
September 3, 7 o'clock America, New York. The Deion Sanders experiment at Colorado begins with a wild win. The Buffaloes, who won one game last year, knocked off Texas Christian, a team that played for a national championship last season, to kick off the Primera.
The Independent.
September 3, 6:27 America, New York. One dead at Burning Man Festival as thousands stranded in desert after heavy floods. Festival goers urged to shelter in place and conserve food, water and other supplies. Copyright Paul Redder via Reuters.
Mirror World News. September 3, 5:42 America, New York. North Korea launched fake nuclear missile attack in bid to send message to U.S. Kim Jong-un's military launched 2 cruise missiles laden with mock nuclear warheads to simulate a real tactical nuclear attack, after the U.S. and South Korea held joint military drills in the region.
RT World News.
September 3, 5:38 America, New York. Ex-UK defense chief sparked rift with U.S. over helicopter deal, Times. Ben Wallace reportedly had a chip on his shoulder over his failure to become NATO Secretary-General. Former UK Defence Secretary Ben Wallace tried to derail a major deal to buy heavy military helicopters from the US, triggering a diplomatic row between the two longtime allies, the Times reported on Saturday, citing sources.
World News. Breaking international news and headlines. Sky News.
September 3, 5:35 America, New York. Mason Greenwood's new manager says loan signing is delicate issue. Mason Greenwood's new manager has said signing the player is a delicate issue. That is kind of a tough situation to talk about.
The Independent.
September 3, 5:31 America, New York. Israel's Netanyahu demands Eritrean migrants involved in violent clash to be deported immediately. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he wants Eritrean migrants involved in a violent clash in Tel Aviv to be deported immediately and has ordered a plan to remove all of the country's African migrants. Copyright 2023 The Associated Press.